Hey guys, welcome back to the channel Everyday Carry for the Everyday Guys. So today we're going to be talking about MOJO Knives Small Karambit. Those of you who follow me on Facebook and Instagram will have seen this knife quite a bit. I have to be honest, I'm quite taken by it. I really quite like the small karambit. And I'm also going to talk to you about what I look for in a defensive blade. Now, here's the thing. Everybody is going to have different wants when it comes to a defensive blade, because they all have different needs and because we might be carrying different supplementary tools. Now, the main things I look for in a defensive blade are as follows, but this is not in any particular order. It's not like from order of most important to least important. But the main things I look for is concealability, accessibility, indexing or knowing where the sharpest point of the blade is, the puncturing point, retention control, and ease of use. When I say ease of use, now, this karambit, though it's shaped, the blade shape is like your standard karambit shape, it isn't curved upwards in your, like a claw, okay? That is important for me because blades that have that really sharp forward curve, they cause a lot of damage, but they take a lot of skill and training to master. Now, in a defensive situation, not everyone is going to have had that training, and they want, or at least I personally want, the dumbest tool I could possibly use, and that is basically a tip that indexes with my index finger. If you notice where my index finger is and where the tip of this blade is, it indexes perfectly. So from a physiologically ergonomic standpoint, I know exactly where the sharpest point of this blade is. Now, the advantage of the small karambit is that it's still got that really aggressive karambit blade shape. This is going to be weird to say, but the advantage of that is it causes a lot of damage, right? Going in and coming out, it pretty much is impossible for this blade to go in and come out via the same path. So you're going to cause damage going in and you're going to cause damage coming back out, in puncturing, out ripping and tearing. As weird as it sounds, you want your defensive blade to be as dangerous as possible, right? Because you're only ever going to use this when you are in the worst of the worst situation. When someone is within striking distance of you, when someone's on top of you, super close quarters, okay? Now, the reason I said earlier on, people are going to look for differences in their defensive blades is I carry a firearm, right? I'm going to roll in some B-roll as we go through this video, but the advantage, or one of the biggest deals that I've recently discovered I want all my defensive blades to have, is this little, what I like to call retention ring. Now, I use this blade in my support hand. I'm not going to say weak hand. I'm going to stop saying weak hand, my support hand, because this hand shouldn't be that much weaker than this hand. So my support hand, the reason for that is I want to be able to go to my firearm if the opportunity arises. Now, with a conventional blade that does not have this retention ring, I'm either going to be able to run my firearm or my blade. With the MOJO Knives Small Karambit, I can run both. Now, again, a really important factor is that this blade isn't really aggressively curved, and the tip indexes with my index finger, so I always know where the edge is. You will notice that on the rear end of the blade, the edge does not cover the entire part of the blade. It sort of stops over here, right? So you do have this back end here, which is not sharpened. So when you go to draw your firearm, you can do so whilst retaining your blade. With most conventional blades that doesn't have this retention ring, you either have to dump the blade, or you have to commit to the blade and the blade only. What I like about this is if the opportunity arises, I can switch to my firearm and we're good to go. I can run that firearm as if I was running it with an empty support hand. The 19X is a training pistol, so if my finger comes onto the trigger in the B-roll, don't freak out. It's just me showing you that I can get my finger onto the trigger, right? But let me just show you. So this is my real pistol. Let's just get that guy clear. So what I'm trying to say is, guys, we are empty and safe, so don't stress. As I was alluding to, if I've got the blade in my left hand, right, it's very natural and easy for me to bring my firearm up and out, and we are good to go. So I can still run my firearm, I can still load, I can do everything that I would ordinarily do with the empty hand, and that is all down to this retention ring. Some people don't like the retention ring, and that's fine, I get it. There are disadvantages, but that's gonna sort of, for me, that depends on what my support tools are. If my support tool is a firearm, I like having this ring because, as I've said, it allows me to then, if the moment arises, I can run my firearm. Now, the MOJO Knives Small Karambit, the blade steel is N690, the scales are G10, the length of the blade is 75 millimeters, the length of the grip is 80 millimeters, and that the inside of the fingering has a circumference of 25 millimeters. Now, you do also get a Kydex sheath with it. I've got a discrete carry concepts clip on mine. It comes with one of these, and it's sort of, how can I best show this? It's sort of in that configuration, right? But obviously flipped around because it would be in that configuration. So I immediately got rid of that and just put one of my discrete carry concept clips on it. The reason for that is because I like to run the blade slightly forward canted. So when it's on my actual belt, it'll sort of sit like that. The reason for that is when I draw the knife, I want to draw it forward across my body. I don't want to pull it up. If I'm up against a wall, if I'm on the ground, pulling it directly vertical upwards might not work. But 99% of positions I can possibly be in, pulling the blade forward and across my body, even if it's not, let me just put this on. So even if it's not directly close in, if I pull it forward and away from me, forward is a lot easier than directly upwards, okay, or vertical. So I tend to cant the sheath so that the blade sort of sits kind of like that when it's on my body. Now, you will notice when I spoke about the things that are of value to me, I didn't really mention comfort. Comfort is an advantage. Capability is more important. Sometimes you have to sacrifice a little bit of comfort for the capability of protecting yourself, your loved ones, and those sort of things. So it's very important that we stop making comfort one of the most important factors to the tools and the gear we carry. I think once we've switched that mindset to a case of what is my max capability? My max capability is A, okay, my comfort is down to a level C, but I'm maxing out on my capability, so I'm okay with that. I will sacrifice a bit of comfort for capability. I don't like sacrificing capability for comfort. Now, guys, if you want to order this, you can do so via MOJO Knives Instagram and Facebook pages. I'll leave it linked down below. There is a bit of a lead time. I believe it's around 2 to 3 weeks. Don't quote me on that. I could be wrong. It could be quicker or it could be longer. And I don't like talking about pricing because that's subject to change. But they're not too expensive, which I really like. So it makes it more accessible to the masses. So it's not like a 5,000 Rand blade. Right? You're looking at in around 1,500, 2,000 Rand, give or take, don't quote me, but you're in that price range. So it's a blade that's accessible to most people. As I said, that N690 blade steel, really good corrosion resistance. You can have it Cerakoted. Cerakoting costs, I believe, extra $150. Out of the box, these things are super sharp. Please be careful if you do decide to order one of these things from MOJO Knives. This will jack you up really quickly. Though practicing those draw strokes with a knife in your hand, you don't get a training blade with this, unfortunately. So drill it slowly. If you make a mistake, it's going to be a mistake that you're going to regret, and it'll probably be the last mistake you make. These, just like your firearm, you have to, this is a deadly tool, has to be treated as such. If you're going to train with it, train slowly until you build up your speed and comfortability with the tool, indexing, understanding where that blade is. I want to say a huge thanks to Mike from MOJO Knives. He's been my contact. I've also just recently started talking to Eddi from MOJO Knives as well. Thanks to them for making this available to me. They have also sent me a push dagger, which I'm going to start testing soon, but I have to be honest, it's going to be hard for me to stop carrying this thing because I've kind of fallen in love with this blade. Really ergonomic. The sheath or holster, super tight. There's absolutely no movement in there. It actually, the retention point is on this little hole over here. So I don't know if you can see on the that little indentation right there. That's where you get your retention, similar to the way firearm holsters do. The blade runs the full width, so it's not sort of a blade put into a grip. The grips are attached to the actual blade steel, so you got really good mechanical strength. Once again, huge thanks to MOJO Knives, huge thanks to Mike and Eddi for sending me this. I'm pretty sure this is definitely going to be right up there on my list of favorite defensive knives. That is it, guys. I will see you soon for another review. Have a good week. Be safe, train hard. Cheers. God bless.